Okay, guys, we are live now. Welcome to Keystone Education Consultant. Today, basically, we are going to be talking about the opportunities available and then the processes involved in traveling abroad, both on school ground and then on study grounds. So, basically, today we are going to be having speakers from across the world. We're having speakers from the United States of America. We're having speakers from Canada, from Portugal, from Cyprus, and from Belarus who will be sharing ways on how to go about this with us today. So join us as we discuss on travel abroad processes today, and we assure you you're going to learn a whole lot from our programs and our discussion today, discussions that will help you to improve your life for a better life and a better future. Basically, we are going to be talking majorly on the two ways of traveling abroad, and then the first one is through education. Then the second means is through so these are the about today, and we try to uh, dissect them to break them down for your understanding so that you can learn from the process. If you have any question, you can drop your questions on the comment section and we are sure going to attend to you. Okay. So without wasting much of our time, I would like to welcome chemist Amadi Samuel all the way from Portugal. Sam, are you with us?
Yeah, guys. Hello, guys. Nice to have you guys. I'm here with you guys. I can't see everyone, but then I'm throwing a large hello that will go around. So, hello, guys. Nice to meet you guys.
All right.
Um,
Thank you, Samuel, for joining us today. And we also have
thank you.
okay, and we also have Dr. David. We also have Dr. David Agaba all the way from Belarus, the director of Fieldstone Education Consultant, who will be talking to us more about the traveling on education basis and also on work basis and also the opportunities available after work. Nice to have you here, David. Do you have any welcome note for us?
Hi guys, Dobry вечер. That means good evening in Russian language, I'm joining you from today. Nice to have you here today. So stay put. Why will be why me and David and I can see Samuel Mali. I will be your pilot, for today's session. Thank you.
Hello, Dr. David. Nice to have you on board, man.
Thank you for joining us, Dr. David. All right, thank you for joining us, David. We also have Bernard, pharmacist Bernard, all the way from Cyprus, joining us live today. And Bernard is actually going to Canada in a month's time, so he will be talking to us more about processes and ways involved in moving to Canada. Nice to have you here today from Bernard. If you can hear us, uh, you can give us a brief welcome note if you can hear us, Bernard. Okay, I think Bernard is out of the connection. All right, so without wasting much of your time, okay, from the comment section, I can see Aibo Emmanuel joining us live from Nigeria. Good to have you here, Aibo Emmanuel. We also have Mohamed Sisi. Yeah, Sisi, bro, I can see you on the comment section, bro. Nice to have you live with us, Sisi. Sisi is joining us live from Belarus, Europe. Nice to have you, Sisi. And I can see Boss Trend TV, Abuki Music here. Yeah, bro, I can see you on the comment section, bro. Good to have you here, brother. We have a whole lot to share together today. So, without wasting much time, we'll go straight to the point. So, basically, like I said, today we're going to be talking about traveling abroad and the processes involved and what you need to know. And the processes we're going to be discussing about is educational grounds and also on work grounds. Yeah, Onismos Ishaya, yeah, I can see you. I can see you right on the comment section. Good to have you. Good to have you. Peter Obadoy, I can see you live on the comment section. Good to joining us, bro. Yeah. Okay, so talking today on arounds and also how to travel based on work basis. So without wasting much of our time, okay, uh, we just have our brother Farm John,
Oh,
all the way from the United States from America. Good to have you here, live, bro.
Oga, no, they why me abeg. Good afternoon. Sorry. Hi,
Yeah, yeah. So good to have you, bro.
hi everyone.
Hi, Fam
Yeah,
John.
we
You're
can hear
welcome.
you, bro. We
Nice to
can
meet
hear
you.
you.
Okay, okay, Dr. David. Oh, I know there's Dr. David here. There's Samuel Amali here,
Yeah,
Hola.
and there's David here. So good
yeah,
afternoon. Yeah, it's still morning here though.
yeah.
Still morning here. It's just 11 a.m. here. So Mr. David, I'll
United
lead
States
the
of
floor.
America today. So yeah, yeah. You, you said what?
Yeah. So you know me already. My name is John Ehoche. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, bro.
My name is John Ehoche, a pharmacist. I
Yeah,
graduated
we
from
can hear you, bro. We can hear.
University of Jos in 2018, and so currently in the US here doing my masters in chemistry, though to be specific, medicinal chemistry. So that's where we are now. This is my second semester. I have a year left to be done with the program. So that's me. And I don't know if I can know each and every one of you, just a little bit of your
All
name. I know
right.
I've Sam already. I've seen David. I've seen Dave. I know David already.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good to have you. We have Amali Samuel all the way from University of Jos, and he's on the Wonders Scholarship Program. He's currently joining us live from Portugal. And then
Oh, that's
we
great.
have Dr. David Agaba. We have Dr. David Agaba. Dr. Agaba is the director of Fieldstone Education Consultant, and he's joining us live from Belarus, Europe. Video
Oh,
is
that's great.
muted. We can't see you. Let's see your face, bro. Yeah. All right. On the comment section, we just have Inalibu Ahmed joining us. Evening, everyone, and special shout out to all my Esoba joining us this live chat tonight. Okay, Inalibu, it's good to have you on the chat. You have a lot to learn from us today, bro. So, Dr. David, please kindly put your video on so that we can see you since we are on the live stream. So, like I said, we're going to be talking basically on how to travel abroad and then also on job basis. So, like we all know, uh, there are so many ways you can travel out of your country, and I think the easiest way so far, if I must say, is through study. And then we have a whole lot of people here today who are studying, and they are going to be talking to us about the processes involved. And then for those who already done with their programs, like Dr. David, who is working currently, he's done with his program. Uh, is going to be talking to us about also the work ground, the opportunities involved, and all of that. So, uh, without wasting much of our time, we are going to be having Farm John first, who will be talking to us about the processes involved in getting probably admission or masters to the United States of America, and also the visa process, your visa from your and then process the visa and all of that. So, without wasting much time, Farm John, all the way from the United States of America, and ex Josite. It's good to have you here, brother. So, the floor is open for you, bro. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate, and to each and every one of you, I want to say either good morning, good afternoon, or whatever. But then I still find it appealing and happy to meet each and every one of you at this on this platform. So basically, when he reached out to me about this program, I was happy about it because I feel it is also a platform to be able to dish out secrets of some of these things to people. Because most persons feel it's something that cannot be done, you know. But I feel it's something. In fact, it is very very easy. Sometimes all you need, you just need someone to hold your hands and help you cross the bridge, you know. And you see that it is actually a very simple and a very short process, you know. So basically, the first thing to do as a person, if you plan to study abroad, you have to have that passion, you know, because countless times you will face obstacles and stuff like that. And for the fact that we're also coming from a country like Nigeria that has a whole lot of obstacles in terms of either maybe people not really trusting us, and maybe in terms of the naira, dollar, or any other higher currency issues and all that, you might find it very difficult in a way because it will involve some levels of finance from your own ends. But I feel and I believe and I've seen that it is worth it in every sense because at the end of the day, when you give it a try and you learn some of these opportunities, you discover that all of those efforts are actually what worth the stress, you know. So now going with my own platform, I will use America as a case study or maybe a way to explain the whole part for anyone that is interested. Now, the first thing, as I said earlier, is to have the passion. The second thing, you have to sit down and convince yourself of what you actually want to study. Now, when you are convinced of the program you want to enroll for, it will now give you the opportunity. It will give you, then you now sit and strategize on which of the schools you want to apply to. And the first thing to look out for, you have to check your grade from college. Because as a student, most times, towards your final years, you discover that the energy you have maybe you really cannot compare that energy like towards your year one, year two, and the energy you now start putting in around year three, year four. And most of these schools, they will tell you your last 60 hours or your last 60 credits, So most of these things, some schools they take it serious, though not every school. So when you check your results, it will now give you an idea of the kind of schools you apply to. Now, I advise people to always use this usnews.com. Once you get to usnews.com, you click on the education section of that usnews.com. When you click that education section, for us, most of us coming from Nigeria, yes, I'm not saying you shouldn't shoot your shot to the top universities in the US. No problem about that. But when you're acting, you have to act smartly in a way. So you try to shoot your shot to schools that you know that okay with your kind of results, and you can apply to let's say most times when you're applying, you can select like 10 schools. In those 10 schools, make sure you have like you can divide it into two, or maybe you can do it at 60-40%. Apply to 60% of the schools you are guaranteed that you secure admission to. Then you can now throw your shot into other 40% of those schools, like maybe those top tier schools. Now those 60%, when you are checking, you see that there are going to be obviously like 1,000 schools that will pop up on the US news, whatever the education section. You have to look down from around 100, 300, 400 downward. In that case, you make your search very well. Once you make your search, America, most times we don't have this issue of having to reach out to professors. Though there are some schools you have to do that in America here. Though I think it's more of a Canada kind of emails you have to write to professor to approve before you make application. The US is not like that. So after you do that, then you've selected your schools, you know what you want already, you know the schools you want to apply to already, and you know the course you want to apply to. Then the next thing, our CGPA, some schools will come up with another issue of you have to convert your CGPA to an American standard of what CGPA. And we come from a system where we operate on the 5-point scale, while Americans they operate on the 4.0 scale. So what are you going to do? You have to reach out to this evaluate. There are some companies that does the evaluation. We have examples of some of these companies. We have the EC, we have the West, and some other ones. I think the two major ones I know are actually EC and West. So now you have to go create an account. You can Google either West or you Google ECE. EC means education, I think educational credentials, whatever. I think I've forgotten the E though. Evaluation, yeah, evaluation. So it is either use EC or you use West. Now, West should be around $218. Then the EC should be around $210. Either of two. So you can choose either of the two. You mustn't use the two. So once you pick one of those two, you now register. Then you reach out to your school to get your transcript. You are not getting your transcript by hand. So once you register for ECE or you register for West and you make the payment, but we still have a challenge in Nigeria that we cannot pay beyond some certain amount while living in the country. So of course you have to reach out to either maybe a major company. There's some company that does that payment. I think there's this my friend that paid via a company the other time. Though I really cannot remember the name of the company now. Or you reach out to a friend if you is in the States, or maybe in the UK, or maybe a friend in the UK that if you can help you pay that money for you, or you reach out to a friend in the US if you have. But in absence of that, you can reach out to some of these companies back there, as in back home, that can actually help you make that payment for you. So after you make that payment, you get the evaluate those companies that evaluate this document. They'll give you a reference code. So that reference code, you will send it to your school. Your school will process your transcript, attach that reference code to it, and use a courier send it to either America or Canada, because West, the headquarters of West, if you check West website, is reading Canada. Don't bother, just send it. West will evaluate your results and send you a soft copy of that result, or EC will do the evaluation and send you a soft copy of that result as well. Most times I advise people when doing any of these registrations to cut costs, try to use a friend that is residing in the US. In that case, there is this delivery they do after evaluation that costs, I think, around $60 if you are international. But if you have a friend that resides in the US, it will be down to around $15. So in that way, you must have saved $45 off that payment. So you see, so you invariably you paying maybe around $210 for EC and $218 for West. That's if you it's not like you pay it together. You choose either of those two evaluating companies. So after you get your results, now you can now decide to, after getting your results, you already checked the schools you want to make applications to already. Then the next thing, I advise people when doing, I don't know if you have some undergraduate students here. David, do you have any of those students here?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have them. We have them.
Okay. So as an undergraduate student, I in fact my basic advice to you is to make sure that any project, like if you're a science-based student, or even if whether art or commerce or whatever, make sure as you are doing your final year project, disturb your professor, disturb your lecturer to do a publication for you. Make sure you do a publication on that particular project, because it will give you an edge. You know, most of these either PhD or MSc, they look out for a student that is distinguished in his or her own part. They don't really want to admit someone that will come in and have to start teaching you everything from the beginning. You understand? So those hands-on experiences, like you even going ahead to do a publication, you might not really, but it will give you this idea of, okay, you know how to make a publication. At least you have an idea, which will be helpful for you in your graduate program. So make sure you disturb your professor or your lecturer to help you, as in just make sure you have at least a publication. Just because it is when you are in school running down the right program that you can have the access to do that. So once you are done, and even if you're not in school and you are out, you can still try to collaborate. You must not really be the main author of a publication. You can be a co-author with someone that you know is already running, maybe through assisting the person. Maybe the person wants to go out to take a survey or something, and maybe you are free. You can reach out. Can I help you? Reach out and get that co-author status and add it to your CV. It will go a long way. Then the second thing is to make sure you get a proper, and even if it means reaching out to a company to help you write a good and a proper CV for you. Sometimes when you're doing these things, you feel you're wasting money, but in the long run, it's not really money you're wasting. You're trying to build capacity. You understand? Because you are not competing with people from your local government. Neither are you competing with somebody from your family or from the village. You are competing global. Going global, you have to come up with something that can actually stand in your absence, that can stand and speak for you while you are not on that committee deciding for your own admission. So after you get a good CV, then the statement of purpose, which must be unique to every student. That is another part again. And writing a good and an effective statement of purpose, you have to have an idea of what you are going into the graduate program to do. Though not necessarily the things you go there to do, but at least have a clear path of what you want in your graduate program. Because even in most cases, even getting into the graduate program, you are still they will still allow you to rotate under professors, under faculties. Then you'll be able to decide what you actually want. But at least they expect you to have a path that, okay, for me, I'm a pharmacist and I want to go into synthesis, or I want to go into maybe proteomics, or maybe even genomics. Or maybe you want to go into some kind of designs, like some drug designs and all that. And does it really? It must really. Sometimes it must not really align with your undergrad project, but if it aligns, fine. It's still going to be a plus for you. Then when you get those things done, that's like you now have your SOP, like your statement of purpose, powerfully as in written, like you've taken your time to write it well. And when you write it, make sure you share it with a mentor you feel he's already in that particular line, or maybe has chosen that path to help you review it for you. If you don't have such a mentor, there are companies that help review SOP. I think the last one I reviewed for someone, I sent it to the company. I think I paid like $2 or thereabouts, which for me is like an equal to nothing, because that's like 1,000 or maybe 1,500 in Nigeria. But the services you get, of course, is top notch. So once you get that done, you have gotten your CV, you have gotten your West evaluator results, you have been able to choose, as in you've made your choices about the schools you want to apply to. So the next thing is to start making applications. And once you make in most cases, application opens around September for fourth semester. You try to apply early. Though there
Like,
are schools that require you to take English test. Though most of the schools are beginning to waive it for Nigerians now, so I think it's a plus on our part.
Sam, can you?
Any problem?
Yeah, David.
Can you hear me?
Hello, hello, David.
Hello. I think we've
Hi,
lost it. Hi.
hi, hello to everyone. I can hear you all.
Okay. I think we lost it,
Yeah,
right?
I think I'm not sure. Hello,
Okay.
Dr. David.
Yeah, I'm here, but I think we lost Dave.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
he's
Dave is
going to
having a
join us.
network glitch. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he will join us right away. Yeah.
Okay. So in that regard, we've talked about some of the different things needed at this point. You've made your choices. You've reviewed your SOP, reviewed your CV, gotten your West OEC handy, and you've been able to search out schools you want. I advise get 60% from the bottom, then get 40% from maybe 2% from the middle, then maybe two others from the top, so that you not end up applying to top tier schools and maybe falling out. Yes, it's good to get into Yale's or Harvard or maybe Stanford or whatever, but you have to look at your capacity first and where you're actually coming from before you're able to make that application. So after that, and I advise that some of these state universities and some of these regional schools in the US are also very, very good. So you can make applications to those schools. You can even get in for masters. After masters, you can decide to go for PhD. Some persons go straight for PhD, and which it works. I have a lot of friends that actually running PhD directly from the university. Like they didn't. There was no need to go through MSc or whatever to do that. Then after that, I think that's like the major thing. If by the grace of God you get admitted, then the next thing is to pay for your service, a service fee, which is done by the Homeland Security. So basically, most times they pay it either through Walmart or maybe some of these malls. You pay for it. There is a hidden kind of fee because not everyone understands how it's being paid. Even some workers in the Walmart, not all of them understand it. But if you reach out to someone that knows how to do it for you, the person will do it for you. You can also pay for it too from Nigeria there too, because there are some of these media, as in these companies, to help pay for people. Because I had a friend that paid for it last time. Then after that, you can now send the service to your school. Your school that service, a number comes with it. That number will be indicated or imprinted on your I-20. Then the I-20 will be sent to you. Once you get the I-20, you can use the I-20 now to go to CGI or DS1. Yeah, you want to fill DS160 on the US visa portal. Fill the DS160. From there, you move to CGI and schedule your visa date. For visa fee, the last time I paid, I paid mine. That was last year. Was it last year? No, I paid a year before. That was in 2020. Because I went for visa twice. I went for the interview twice, sorry. I was denied the first one, went for the second one, then I was given. But once you pay for your visa fee, not visa fee, once you pay for your service fee lasts for one full year. So even if you are denied visa, you can still use that service fee for your subsequent visa interviews. The visa fee is a one-time payment. Once they deny you, you have to repay again before you appear for the visa interview. So basically, after that, you go for the visa interview, and if you are given visa. But one good thing about the US is most of their master programs and the PhD programs, they come as fully funded programs. Though there's a lot of fundings for PhD students, but in the masters, it's more like a restricted kind of funding. Some schools, as a Nigerian coming from Nigeria, like I had a friend who from Ghana just came in. That was in January. The guy, I think how much he came in with around $1,000, and he's surviving very well because though he's in for masters, though the funding is a bit limited, but he has been able to devise a way how, because he's still getting funds, but it's not as compared to what PhD student gets. You understand? If such that the way they design the masters in most of the schools is such a way that you will be funded, but if you are smart enough, you can use that fund to pay the little school fees, because you are still going to be paying some little school fees, kind of. Though some schools you don't pay school fees. When you are not paying school fees, the funding will not be too much. You can use that funding to pay for your accommodation and your feeding. Do you understand? So somehow, and the schools where you pay school fees, the master's funding is a bit higher, so that if you do your mathematics well, you see that you can equally pay your school fees from inside. You can pay your accommodation from inside, and you'll be left with like maybe around $200 that you can use for feeding in a month. You understand? Of course, in America, $100 should be able to feed you for a month. So unless maybe you want to go and eat maybe one African restaurant or something, maybe you want or unless you want to be doing it frequently. If not, $100. In fact, I don't think I've spent more than $100 in a month before.
I guess you're a great economist.
so, so that is how it is. So, I think
This $100 you're talking about, sorry to cut you short, you remind me of Peter Obio.
Man, it's not possible here. I can spend $100 in 3 days here. Cyprus is very expensive, trust me, bro.
Wow. But for me, honestly, not like, funny enough, I eat well. Like, I eat, if you eat chicken in America, yeah, if you go to the mall, you get a bag of chicken for $8. Sometimes
Yeah, but
$6.
that place you are, the prices are regulated. Here, all of a sudden, there is 50% inflation
Oh, I
in
see.
Turkey. So even if before you can go with if you have $100, you can feed for 4 months. But now, as I speak with you, $100 cannot take you to the market here and come back alive. You will spend
Wow.
it. It's not possible.
Wow, that's serious. Some of the the world in a way is being hit by inflation at the moment.
Exactly.
And
Trust me.
it is not a country kind of. I think it's a world entirely because
Yeah. But your place is better than where we are. That is the thing.
Yeah,
You can spend.
I understand.
Here you just can't do that. You run out of cash instantly. Trust me.
And maybe even the ease of making the money down there might even be a bit hard as well.
Man,
And
don't worry. I will tell you some other times. Don't worry.
so, us here. So in a nutshell, 100, 150 or whatever should be enough. Even if you are too extravagant, let's say 150. That's to say you go out, maybe McDonald's once in a while, maybe 2-3 times a week or something. You should be able to do that. But I feel $100, and there are still places within schools where you can even go and eat for free.
Oh,
So you really don't have much of an issue. But you might not really have the savings, the big savings. You'll be feeling like, you're in America, you have
yeah.
money home, that kind of feeling. You might not really have that, unless maybe you have some other stuff. But that big saving, you might not have it. But then, at least it's 2 years, of course, so you don't really you don't need to worry much. Patience, and you'll be done. And maybe you go in for OPT. But I advise people, when enrolling for courses or maybe when choosing, make sure you choose a course that is OPT based or these STEM based courses.
Okay.
Because the STEM will give you an opportunity to, after your program, stay for 3 years.
Okay.
You stay for 2 years first, then after the 2 years, you can now reapply for another 1 year. At least within that time, you should have gotten your status either as H1B or whatever, So that is my advice to people most of the times. And when you're running those programs, you try to get as much publications as possible so that you can apply for EB2 visa. Because the EB2 is a straight, as in that one takes you straight to green card. And anybody too can actually apply for it. I don't know about Dr. David, but if it's a STEM-based course, you can, EB2 is for everyone. You can just have it and not even use it. So there is a whole lot of opportunity when you have publications and conferences attended and some other stuff. So I think I've come to the end of my little contribution to the house for now.
Okay, thank you very much. I really enjoy your, although I was late, but I really enjoy your presentation. And I have a few questions which I will ask at the end of other presentations. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. So I have a class now, so I don't know if I can actually leave now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can be there because, of course, the time difference. You guys are just let's say you're just starting your day,
Exactly.
Okay.
So any
Okay.
question that available,
Mm,
come back later, I'll drop answers for David. He can just
yeah.
record my questions for me. I'll drop the answers. Maybe he can share it with the house.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Thank you
It's
very
a
much.
Thank you.
it's a good one, yeah. Thank
Thank
you, yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Good insight, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, David is still not here. What's happening? David, what's wrong with your connection?
Let me text him.
David, what's wrong with your connection? Come join us here now. If your connection is not working.
Yeah, let's someone continue. Someone.
Okay. So Samuel, David said you should tell that the floor is open.
Okay. So hello guys. As you all know, my name is Samuel. I'm currently in Portugal. My program is Chemical Innovation and Regulation. It's an Erasmus program. Um, Erasmus it's a well-known program. It's a very popular program. But yeah, it's safe to say that Erasmus is not actually as popular as it should be, in my opinion. Yes, because Erasmus program is one of the most prestigious scholarship program, and there are a lot of advantages being an Erasmus scholar. A lot. And the funniest thing about it is most Erasmus programs, most Erasmus programs are actually free. You don't need to pay a dime for application. So most Erasmus programs, they don't ask you for any form of application fee. Just a couple of them that will probably ask for, and it's usually about 100 euros thereabout. But it's very unlikely of them. Most of them, they tell you there's no application fee and all of that. Yeah, just like the first speaker said, he made mention of several things you need to put into consideration if you are looking to, travel abroad through the academic route. Now, one of the things about scholarship is most scholarship programs, they tend to have like a relatively, they have this similar requirement. Okay. So that way it's a great advantage for all scholars, because since most scholarship require almost the same thing, you could have like put together a list of requirements for a particular program, and it would be enough for you to, throw a shot at a couple of other programs. Yeah, the common saying, it's wise not to put, your egg in one basket. So you could have this requirement put together, and you throw multiple shots at different scholarship programs. Yeah, traveling abroad through education routes, it's not impossible. I can actually say it's easy. It's very easy. In my opinion, it's like one of the surest way to, you know, make your migration work. So I like to believe that most of us on the space currently is in Nigerian. Like most of us, we are Nigerians. I can't say that for sure, but I'm assuming. So I'm also a Nigerian, so I'll I'll give you like my thought process about how to make a successful application, and I'll try to streamline I'll base it mostly on Erasmus, because I told you I'm like one of the biggest fans of Erasmus program. Yes, like I said, it's very prestigious, well known, and there are several advantages of being an Erasmus scholar. Now, to tell you, during my time, we were about, let me see, 200 more or less, 200 Nigerians that got selected for Erasmus program. And among the 200 scholars, we had like several scholars had like different opportunities from different parts of the world. Like I had colleagues that got into the Marakari program and the DAD program, the Germany program, and different programs. The US, the first scholar actually said in the US you could get a direct PhD admission, and you don't need to have a master to get admitted into the PhD program. So some of my colleagues, they actually got offers from US. There's this lady, she got the DAD program, my carry program. Then yes, one also got the Chevening program. But the thing is, this particular girl got about 4 different scholarships. Then the funny thing was the DAD program, that is actually a German program. They kept writing this lady, like they were literally begging her to take no games, man. They were literally begging this girl to take the program, but she actually turned them down. Then the other program, the US, they paid the program in US too. The group was actually fire. A lot of people came out to see that they had like 3. Me personally, I got 2 programs. I got one in Sweden, then I got this one. So the question was, why would you have US is like, like most people would see US as their dream country and all of that. And you got US on a platter of gold. And the funny thing is, the school in US, they offered to pay more stipends than what Erasmus was going to pay this girl, but she declined and she took Erasmus. She chose Erasmus over the rest of them. So the question, me personally, I was like, why? For like, I need to know, like, why would you make that decision? So she actually had several reasons, but now being an Erasmus scholar myself, somehow I could actually bounce any US program for Erasmus because now I know better. So there are other speakers. So let me stop with the show off because I'm not the ambassador. So let me not talk too much about him. So now, how do you apply for Erasmus? Now, to start with, Erasmus is actually a scholarship program that is funded by the European Union. So basically, every year, the Erasmus program, they give out like a catalog. That's like a list of programs. That is, let me say, course. They bring out a list of like master degree programs. So depending on your discipline, you decide to choose, like pick a program from the list of the catalog that they release yearly. Now this catalog, usually it's every year, they give out list of say 200, 180 something, 190 something, depending on the available fund. Yes, so you have like, let's say on average you have like 190 programs yearly, Erasmus program yearly. So one of the good things is you are not even restricted to just applying for one. I think until 2020, yes, you are only meant to apply for maximum of 3 Erasmus program, but now it's even open actually. Some programs would tell you don't have to apply for more than 3 Erasmus programs. But in the grand scheme of things, you could actually apply for as many as possible. My time, I actually took a shot on 4 Erasmus programs, and I got one of the Erasmus program, then I got another program in Sweden. That's not Erasmus. So like I said, you put all the requirements together and you take shot on different scholarship programs, and you keep getting like letters. We call it love letter. Mr. David, yeah, we used to make we used to make jokes like about
Yeah.
these things. Like when you get the letter, maybe you apply for like 6 programs. One send you letter, oh, sorry to tell you, you didn't get in. So my time, all the last ones that I applied, today I applied for 4. The first 3 I didn't get. The last one, the fourth one, that's the one I got. You
Oh,
understand?
that's
So
good.
I actually forgot about that one totally. So how do you get into an Erasmus program? Yeah, so when you go through the dialogue is just once you just search on Google, you just search Erasmus catalog for let's say this 2023, yes. So you Google Erasmus catalog 2023. So a list of this program comes out. Then once the list once the list pops up, you just go through the list and you see like name of programs, the site. So all you need to do basically, Erasmus, they actually like funny acronyms. Like they have different acronyms. Like my program is CHIR, Chemical Innovation and Regulation. There are emotion, like a program name is emotion Erasmus program. So there are different acronyms. They like to use acronyms. So basically what you do, don't try to click on the acronym because you basically not see much there. So click on the website, the program website. When you click on the program website, every program has its requirement. So Erasmus is like a general body that do the funding. No, European Union fund, all the general Erasmus programs. But each Erasmus programs, they are actually independent of each other. So all the programs have different requirements, but like I said before, the requirements are usually similar. So majorly, most programs would require you to, have like at least 2 recommendation letter. Then you get to write motivation letter or statement of purpose. And yes, your transcript, which would actually speak for your academic excellence, and also your CV. You have to have CV that have a high correlation to whichever program you decide to pick from that catalog. Now I told you there'll be a list of programs. So if you're a biochemist, you probably see a program that from the name of the program, you could see that it's something that is related to your discipline. If you're an, let's say, engineering student, you could see a program from the catalog that is actually related to your feed. But during my time, I actually took my time to go through all the programs. Then I decided to pick about 6 that is highly related to my feed. So the thing is, I told you to apply for different programs, but you don't shoot carelessly. Because when you
Yeah.
open each of, yes, when you open each of when you go to the program site, like you go through it, if you're a computer scientist, they are saying whatever, then at the end, you are seeing data analysis, yes, this is related to my field as a computer scientist. So you pick up things like, or you could actually use filter. When you use filter, like for me, I could decide to filter it down to say chemistry. But the downside to that is, I told you, Erasmus like funny acronym. So most of the name of the program is actually, some of them probably won't have anything related to chemistry. And when you filter, it's like you reduce your, your chances somehow because you have less options. So, I mean, you have the time. So try and go through the programs. And as you go through the program, open the website and you see a list of requirements for each of the programs. Now, what you need to do is, you already know, like, your suitability, what you did in school, your courses, what you did during your CyrUS. You actually know where you served during your CyrUS. When you did your NYC, you know where you did your NYC. So this should give you like a clear idea about which program that you would actually have a high correlation to. Because like I said, one of the grade items for the selection committee look at is what? your suitability. That is your correspondence. What is your correct correlation to the program you're applying for? All right. So, like me, basically, I think one of the major reasons why I got in this program, because yes, I told you there's academic excellence. So, yes, that's one of I could actually put that as one of the big advantage of Erasmus. Erasmus doesn't look at just your transcript. That's your academic excellence. You don't need to have like 2-1. You don't need to have like what's it called, first class. Because I know someone that had like 2-2 and the person still got in. You don't need to have like first class to get into, an Erasmus. Do you understand? Because there are other grade items. We have suitability, we have, recommendation letter, we have what motivation letter. So the idea is for you to look at all these grade items. If you know your result is poor, you should ensure that you are going for a program that you have a very high correlation, you have a very high suitability. So that will measure up for the loss you have on your academic excellence. You understand? So your motivation letter, so as you write your motivation letter, there should be a bridge. You need to try and bridge. The idea is ensure you have a very high suitability, a very high correlation to whichever program you're applying for. So you shouldn't be a biochemist because no, let's say yes, a biochemist during your SciWest, you went to do probably your SciWest at the communication firm and your NYC, it's actually not related to your program, and you decide to pick up a program that is actually requesting for biochemist, your result is actually not enough. How about your correlation? You don't have any work experience that is related to the program. You understand? You might have the result because they will tell you they want a biochemist. If you cover for that, how about your work experience? There's nothing showing that you have high correlation to that. So the idea is you should pick programs that you know you have a very good strength. Like the other speaker said, your competitors are not, they're not your friends or your family members. There are people from all over the world. My program, I have like people from Georgia, US, like all over the world. You understand? So ensure you look out for these things. So the idea is for you to pick programs that I don't know how to emphasize. I've said this over and over. Like I've laid too much emphasis on it because I think that's like the heart of this whole thing. Your result, I could actually say it's secondary because your result is just one thing. You have recommendation. Recommendation, that means the idea is for you to, okay, one big cheat about recommendation. I know how they tell you, go and get a professor. Yes, professor, get mouth pass. Yes, we are Nigerians. Professors get mouth pass. That's a very big scam because at the end of the day, this selection committee, they don't give so much, them about, oh, this recommendation is coming from a professor. So now my focus is this person that is going to write a recommendation for you. Is this somebody that is tech savvy? Is this somebody that is down to check his mails? Is this somebody that I can call at any time? How far, sir? Have you sent? Because these people, some of these Erasmus program, they don't allow you to send the recommendation letter yourself. You would submit the name of the person that is meant to be your referee. Then they'll send an email to the person. So the person will send your recommendation letter to the school. So the person should be somebody that is willing to, pick your call at any time, and it should be somebody that will be open to, taking your word now, your ideas or you need to guide. The person should be somebody that is, cool enough that would let you to guide him on how to write the recommendation letter because you know more about this program than whoever that is going to write your recommendation for you. And like I said, everything should be tendered towards what? Suitability. So since you know what the program wants, because of course, the idea of going to the website, when you go to the website, you still go to the program structure. The program structure and overview will tell you what and what they want, who are they looking for. So as you go through the site, because you can't send like site to somebody that writes your recommendation letter and tell the person, go and study the site and know what they want. You can't do that. So you know what they want because you've gone to the site. So this person should be somebody that is open to let you pointing towards what your recommendation letter should look like. You understand? And professors, they have huge ego. That's why I don't even like to even recommend them. No professor would actually want to, at least few, maybe. I can hear myself like there's echo. Why?
Yes,
Can
while
you
you
guys
were
hear me?
talking, I can hear you very well.
Okay. I think I can still hear echo. Okay, it's better now. It's cool. Talk to person that somebody that's friendly enough to. I can hear myself. It actually.
Yes, the background, I can hear you. What your voice is echoing.
Why?
So I don't really know.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, let me continue. David, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Oh, okay. So get somebody that's friendly enough to let you guide him or her to write a suitable recommendation letter for you, because it's not just a random recommendation. It shouldn't be a random recommendation letter. It should be a recommendation letter that's properly tendered towards what or who the program is looking for. All right, that's one thing. That's why, because like I told you, these things are grade items. The more suitable your recommendation letter is, the more mark you have for recommendation. Do you understand? So just a recommendation letter is not enough. So that's one thing. So the second thing is, another grade item is English proficiency. So if you have for English proficiency, the request for like one of these international exams like TOEFL, IELTS, any of them is allowed. But most of these Erasmus programs, like almost all of them, with a letter attesting that your medium of instruction was English during your BSc, with that from your school. It's just a letter, signed, stamped from your school. With that letter is enough. You don't need to write any TOEFL or whatever. With that is enough. So that's like a free mark for you, because like I said, these things are grade items. These are what the committees look at. All right. So that's that. Then the other grade item is your motivation letter. So of course, that too, whatever you see, when you talk about yourself and you try to, point a light on your experience, you shouldn't be talking about, oh, you went to do your what now? Your CIS in a law firm. You went to do your NYC in a communication firm, and you're applying for a chemistry course, you understand? So the idea is everything is directed towards what? Increasing your suitability. You just have a very high correlation. Whatever you do, all your papers should point towards increasing correlation between your background and whichever program you want to apply for. Basically, so these are actually what they look at. So once you have all these things in place, then you shoot your applications. Most of the application window for the Erasmus program is actually open from October to like January. Okay, so the idea is, you know, try to prepare, all these things that I've said, to get someone that will listen to you, a referee that would let you guide him, friendly. Some of them can be friendly enough to tell you, oh my guy, you know what, write the recommendation letter, send it to me. I would sign and stamp and send to you. Come on. These are people you should be looking for, because then you can write the recommendation letter, you can make it as classic and as, you know, you can make it perfect, because you know what they want by looking at the program instruction and all. So, and no professor want to do that for you. So these things are too much trouble, yes. So that's why you have to find out a very long period of time to start making your preparation. You don't wait till October or a month before October and you start running up and down. So get these things ready like months before the application window is open. Then once the application window is open, then you start shooting your applications to different programs. Because the idea is, once you have like a single motivation letter, once you have it, you can follow the same structure. And as you decide to apply for different programs, you just tweak the your application. Basically, generally, you tweak your application a bit to fit into your program B. So you apply for program B, you pick all your application, you tweak it a little bit, you apply for program C. You understand? You do that and you apply. Before you know, you've applied for like 6 programs, and that will not take too much from you. So the idea is just get your paper ready for one application. By application, I mean your recommendation letter. I'm talking about your paper majorly. If I say application, recommendation letter, your motivation letter, and yes, your proof of English proficiency. So once you have this, all you do for other programs, you tweak it a bit. So now, again, why I wouldn't go for a professor? No one professor will be there to, be helping you shoot for, different programs. You shoot for program A, B, C, T. So it's stressful. You know how prideful some of these professors are, except you have a very good relationship with them. And for you that is still in school, try and have good relationship with lecturers. At least have like 3 lecturers that you can call at the middle of the night anytime, and be like the ones that will be very excited that you are trying to further your application, your studies. That you can call at the middle of the night and they still pick up the phone to answer you and ask you what you want and all of that. Well, professors, once you start trying to tell them, oh, do this, focus, right, they get upset and all of that. So I'm not a very big fan of the professor thing. So that's that basically. So Erasmus will pay
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
they'll
I can
pay you
relate to that,
fully.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yes, David too. He can relate. And also, since he spoke, you should have somebody like, you should have a mentor. Why do you need a mentor? You should need somebody that when you are done writing like your motivation letter, you send to him to proofread and at least tweak it a bit. David did that for me. He was that guy for me. I was always going to him for, so once I write, he's always want to proofread and tweet it for me. And yes, do that, because you know, 2 heads, they say, they are better than one. So that's that. So Erasmus will pay you. You don't even need, why I speak for them a lot. You don't need, on the grand scheme of, you won't pay a dime to be an Erasmus scholar. Application is free. Now, when you get into Erasmus program, you are going to, your expenses, your flight expenses, your travel allowance, to and fro, they pay you. Even though if you're not going to fly back, they still pay you regardless. So once you get into the program, they won't send you the money actually. When you get to Europe, within the first month of your arrival, they'll pay you. For Nigerians, they are going to pay you they pay you 2,000 euros for 2,000. No, they pay you 3,000 euros for travel allowance. Then they'll give you 1,000 euros. They call that one installation fee. The installation fee is basically you need to buy mattress, you need to buy, that is the installation fee. You need to buy, you know, and that's what they call installation fee. So they give you 1,000 euros. Then every month you're entitled to stipends. They'll be paying you monthly 1,000 euros. That's a lot of money. Me, I like I like shoes. David, no, I like the Nikes. I like, I like, I like the shoes. I like to turn up clean, but still, the one
Yeah,
thousand euros
yeah.
is still cool. It's still a lot because the first installation and travel allowance they pay you, you need to be very crazy to spend about 5,000 euros for, within the space of 2 months. What are you going to do with 5,000 euros? You understand? So monthly they pay 1,000 euros. Then at the end of your program, they are still going to pay you 4,000 euros for travel allowance and 1,000 euros for installation fee in your country. So but then you don't really need to fly back because most Erasmus programs they actually have like they have a lot of firm that's having eyes on their scholars. So the job opportunity is over 80% according to what they put there. And most of them, except you want to go back to Nigeria, of course. So so Erasmus is a very beautiful program. So probably if I skipped on one or two things with your questions, I think we'll get to it. So for now, that's that for now, man.
All right.
So
Thank you so much, Chemist Amali and
yeah,
Erasmus Scholar, for your time and for giving us the breakdown of the whole Mondo's scholarship process. We really
mm,
appreciate that. And I want to apologize for stepping out of the video. I had a network glitch, but it's okay that I'm back now. And I want to especially welcome pharmacist Bernard Akpaku. Thank you very much for joining us, brother, all the way from Cyprus. Thank you for joining us, brother. And so
Oh, thank you.
I can see all of you on the chat. Joseph, Ethan, everyone, I can see. Nice to have you here. So we're going to have Bernard talk to us now all the way from Cyprus. Bernard is a pharmacist, and by the grace of God, next month he'll be making his way to Canada. So Bernard is going to be talking to us about the processes of getting an admission in Canada, and also the traveling process, the visa process, and how to go about it, because he is currently in the process and he knows more about what is involved. So Bernard, thank you very much for joining us, and we would like to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I'm happy to be in your midst. Although I apologize for coming late because of the some electronic faults which my laptop is going through. Actually, I am from Nigeria, and I am from Benue State, specifically Ubokolo. Um,
uh-uh. Oh, you know
yeah.
me.
About
Atu Bokolo.
I
yeah,
did,
yeah.
bro.
Yes, David has been my. I and David, we have been battling. We were like rivals in the class. We were always battling for who should be the best in the class. But David got the
Uh-uh.
head out of me. Yeah. So actually, I actually I came here 2016, and I started my pharmacy career. I started as a student, and it was through the help of David that I came here because I lost many opportunities in Nigeria of going to Ireland, Canada, and other countries. But it was during the jump, I came for jump, I met David and we began to interact. He told me I should come to Cyprus since his elder brother is here. And I'm currently staying with his elder brother because I always visit him. Even yesterday, I was in his house. We were talking and discussing a lot of things. First, I wouldn't like to waste your time about Cyprus because Cyprus, there is nothing in Cyprus, and I won't advise you to come here because of the economic hardship Africans are facing. Cyprus is very difficult for many reasons. First, there is no job. Number two, a lot of Africans can't pay their school fees. and there is no empowerment of the youth because, in fact, a lot of black people are committing suicide now because of the tension, the what we call social, political, economic situations here. So Africans are really having it difficult here. So I wouldn't like to talk about Cyprus. Let's just scrape it off the table. Actually, my reason for picking Canada is first, Canada is a country. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay,
can hear you.
okay. For picking Canada is
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. We can hear you.
okay. My reason for picking Canada is simple. For first two reasons, my friend is in Canada, and I like the things I've heard about Canada and read and studied about Canada. For two reasons. First, if I have spent nearly 7 years in Cyprus, but I don't get any benefits in northern Cyprus, not the South Cyprus. The South Cyprus is part of Europe, but here is controlled by the Turkish government. Even if you are here for 10 years, you don't get any benefits. So after being here for nearly 7 years, it is clear to me that I don't belong, and I should take a different challenge. But why Canada when I have many options? Well, Europe is quite a good option. USA is quite a good option. Australia is quite a good option. But as a pharmacist, many of the regions in Canada are in need of healthcare professionals. We could. It was announced 6 months ago that in the year 2050 there will be shortage of healthcare professionals in the world, and both computer engineers. There will be shortage of both computer engineers and pharmacists, healthcare professionals, nurses, and doctors all over the world. And this is why many Nigerians are running to UK. As you see now, a lot of Nigerians are fleeing to UK, fleeing to many of the European countries, at least find a place there before the doors are shut. So Canada is one of those places that are looking for healthcare professionals, especially in regions like Newfoundland and few regions in Canada. They are looking for a way of increasing their workforces. And with for anybody who has a professional, who is a professional, who has a career, or even a graduate, you are welcome in Canada. And this is why I chose Canada. And the processes are simple. For me, I have two choices, either to go as a student or to go as a worker. But for a long-term process, I hope to practice in Canada as a pharmacist, and that is why I chose the evaluation process. The evaluation process will take you 1.5 years if you are to go as a pharmacist, for two reasons. First, they have to go through your documents has to be evaluated, and for your document to be evaluated, there are minimum requirements which you must meet. First, you have to be a graduate of pharmacy, either M.Pharm, B.Pharm, or Pharm D. And in Nigeria, been 6 years ago, Nigeria has a B.Pharm, but the ministry have changed and said Nigerian students should adapt Pharm D, which is doctoral degree in pharmacy, which is purely clinical pharmacy. So whichever of the degrees you have, the Canadian government looks at it, but you should have minimum of 4 years training before you are accepted as a pharmacist, for just the minimum of 4 years. So you have to send your documents to the board, to the Pharmacy Evaluation Board of Canada. You will have to send your documents to from your school directly. So your school, which is your university, we have to send your transcript, your first degree, and also a kind of recommendation letter together with your syllabus or curriculum. The curriculum will be used to judge if the degree is equivalent to that of the Canadian pharmacy curriculum. That is the first stage which everybody must meet. Then, if you're able to pass the evaluation phase, you will have to, but then you can go for evaluation exam, which is the first evaluation exam. But each of the processes has a lot of expenses which you have to do. First, you will have to register with the pharmacy board, and at those days it used to be 340 Canadian dollars, which is maybe 150,000, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's within that range. Then after that, you will have to submit your documents, and the document you have to submit, you will have to send it from directly from your university to the either to the email or through email address of the pharmacy board in Canada, or you send it directly to through courier services like DHL. So which of the options you are available for you. So at that stage, which is the document evaluation, you will have to pay a certain amount of money, close to I think 680 Canadian dollars. So after that, it will take close to 8 weeks for the government, for the board to evaluate your degree, for which they will send you an evaluation letter that, okay, your documents and your academic qualification meets the Canadian standard. If you don't meet the standard, you will be asked to go for a 1 year bridging program. The 1 year bridging program is meant to at least level up the differences between the curriculum in your country and the curriculum in Canada. So if after the process you have passed all which is the second stage, what you have to do is you will get ECA reports, you will get a official letter that you have passed and your document have been evaluated and you have passed the evaluation stage. So with that, they will write you a letter that if you want to come to Canada for exams or for any other processes, they will send you official letter for immigration processes together with ECA report, which is like the ECA report is an official report stating that you have passed all the processes and you are qualified to come to Canada and practice your career after your evaluation exams. So the evaluation exam is for international students only. The international students from different parts of the world will be tested, will be provided an evaluation exam of which you will pay for and write the exam. So it's a process of exams after exams, but you can decide to take the exam in Canada, you can decide to take the exam in Nigeria or any part of the world of your choice. So, but the choices, you have so many choices. So many persons opt to go to Canada where they can be practicing their career at the same time preparing for the exam, since most of the exams deals with Canadian history, history of pharmacy in Canada. But the process is quite exhausting and has a lot of expenses which you will provide. So after the evaluation exam, you go for qualification exam. After the qualification exam has two phases, the clinical aspect and the written aspect. So if you are able to pass the two exams, then you have to go for 6 month training. After the 6 month training, you are qualified, you'll be given an official license and work permit to work in Canada as officially certified Canadian pharmacist. And secondly, if you want to go through university, it's almost the same thing, but each of the steps are quite involve a lot of spending, which a lot of persons are not prepared to do. So these are the difficulties you will face. The only problem you will face is the financial aspect, and that is where a lot of us struggle. But the opportunities are rewarding, and apart from the salary, there are other benefits you will get. Like if you are to go to USA to apply for PhD courses and you have proof that you have practiced in Canada, many school of pharmacy are willing to take you for scholarship, like the first scholar guest speakers talked about. You easily get scholarship, like you go directly to PhD, because I did pharmacy. So you go directly for PhD and even on sponsored PhD where you can get stipend, monthly stipend. And at the same time, you have many opportunities, even in Canada or any part of the European Union, you can easily fit into scholarship program. So, but the only problem you will face is, first, you have to deal with the financial expenses. Secondly, you have to be mentally prepared because the exams are quite tough. The exams are very, very tough, and you have to be good in understanding Canadian history and how Canadian laws are applied, healthcare laws are applied to payment of bills and everything. So with all these things, you will be able to get it done. But after all this have been done, you have to also look at the visa. The visa is another issue, especially for we Nigerians. We have a lot of problems here and there because of the large number of Nigerians fleeing the country. So many countries are trying to restrict the number of persons through immigration policies, are trying to reduce the number of immigrants into their country. Yes. So, and especially Nigerians, if you go to any of the embassy, the most the the most of the visa applicants are from Nigeria. Trust me, they are from Nigeria. If they are just leaving the country, and so many countries are trying to regulate the number of persons that leave the country. So if you are to go as a pharmacist, you have to go through express entry. You can apply through express entry, and you will get your ECA reports and make payments. And you have to have certain amount of money in your account, like bank statement, proof of fund, proof of proficiency, and all your documents have to be stamped by a notary, and your all your reports have to be current. All your letters, your application letters, your motivation letter, like the guest speakers talked about, has to be current and self-explanatory, that whoever reads it will be able to understand your motive and your intention. And you should also have something like obligation to return, because a lot of persons go and they don't come back again. So you have to have proof that you are going in and you would like to come back. It's not that you are going in forever. The proof of return, obligation to return, so many persons suggest you should bring something like evidence that you have properties in Nigeria, like land, properties like a house, evidence of a business, or something that you can return back to if your period of stay in Canada is over. But of it, these are just for formalities. A lot of us that go, we don't come back. So let's forget about that. So these are the few points I can barely remember. But the challenge is big, but the reward is good. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Bernard, for enlightening us on the processes involved in travel to Canada on an academic basis. We actually learned a lot from what you've said, and we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you very much.
Um,
Yeah.
so far, so good. Yeah, so far, so good. We have heard a lot from our speakers from across the globe, and they have talked to us majorly about the admission process, and then how to get the admission, the document required, and the whole processes that are involved. So right now I am going to deviate a bit to talk about the working visa, how to travel on the work basis. Actually, it is possible for you to travel on other grounds and not just education or study grounds. You can also travel on a work visa, and then one of the method is a through visa, and then whereby you get an employment from a company overseas in the country where you want to travel to, and then the company prepares your employment document and send you your invitation, which it takes to the embassy in your home country to apply for your work visa. And after getting it, you travel to that particular company. And you can also travel as a director of a company, whereby you open a business in the particular country where you want to travel to, and then you get your invitation and you use it to apply for your visa, and then you travel to the country you want to travel to, and then you can start working there on your business and then companies as well. And then the other method of I would highlight again is also through invitation. If you have someone like a family member, a friend, an acquaintance, or someone in your dream country where you want to travel to, they cannot actually send you an invitation, and you can go to the embassy of that country in your home country to apply for your visa, and then you can go to that country. So basically, there are different ways to travel. Like I said, education ground, work ground, and then through invitations. So we've highlighted the different means of traveling abroad through the educational ground, work ground, and then through. So the video we have today is a general overview, a general overview on how you can do this. But in our subsequent videos, in our subsequent meetings, yeah, a particular aspect, and then we truly the different steps involved in such processes. For example, if you want to apply for admission, what are the steps involved? You need your transcript. In our subsequent videos, you can decide to pick, okay, how do we process our transcript? We discuss on it squarely, how to go about it and all of that. And then also, we can also have a meeting for the statement of purpose, how to write a captivating statement of purpose to, to impress your evaluators, and then probably to get the scholarship or the admission that is required. So in our subsequent videos, we're going to be doing step by step, but today we just have a general overview. And then thank you for your time, Samuel, Dr. David, from John, from Bernard. Thank you all for your time. So before we round up the meeting, before we round up the meeting, from Kim Sam, I think we have a question from you, from Aigo Emmanuel. He said, this goes to Mr. Samuel. He mentioned about the Sweden program. Can he speak more on the Swedish scholarship program? Its process involved in it. Thanks. Okay, Samuel, we have a question for you from Mr. Aigo Emmanuel about the Sweden program. So can you give a quick overview on the process involved? Thank you.
Okay, so hello guys. Thank you everyone. Yes, before I go into that, I've been hyping Erasmus, and I forgot to mention the most flashy thing about Erasmus.
Yeah, let's hear that. Let's hear that.
The most flashy thing about Erasmus is you get to do your program in several European countries. Like for every Erasmus program, you must run the program in at least 2 European countries. You understand? Some of the Erasmus programs, you can run the programs in like say 5 different European countries. Man, come on, that's flashy, because you could run your first 3 months, you could run it in Germany. Then, because the program is usually 2 years, then the subsequent 3 months or 4 months, you run it in a country like probably France. There are Erasmus programs that you get to run it in UK as well. I have colleagues that are in UK. So yeah. So for me, I'm going to do my curricula here in Portugal. My curricula is in Portugal, and that will last for 1 year. Then my internship and research thesis, I'm going to do it in Spain. So I could actually come back to Portugal if I want, or decide to do my internship in Italy and also do my research thesis in, say, Spain, University of Barcelona. So basically, every program has like at least 3 European countries underneath, and there'll be like consortium, that is schools from these European countries that are part of the universities that is running the program. So yes, so that's like one of the most flashy thing. And yes, of course, once you have like resident permit for any of these Schengen countries, you can actually travel to like about 27 European countries and stay up to 90 days. That is with just your student resident permit. You can, so there's a lot of advantages to it. So now I have my resident permit. I can travel to Germany any day I want. I can go to Germany, France, and Belarus. Like I can go to any European country that's under the 24 member states
Wow,
of
wow.
Schengen.
That's really flashy, man.
It's
Yeah,
flashy.
that's
So
great.
it's a big flex, you know. And if you want to travel to say UK because of Brexit, UK is not under them anymore. But if I want to travel say UK, US, moving from any European country is a flex. Easily I can apply for visa and go, and it's very easy. So now I can go to Denmark, Australia, Netherlands. I don't need anything, just buy ticket and fly. So yeah, that's one of the flashy things. So talking about the Swedish program. The Swedish program is actually a scholarship that is organized by the Swedish Institute scholarship. What's it mean? SISGP, Swedish Institute Scholarship of Global Professionals. Yes, so it's actually organized by the Swedish Institute, and the thing is, it is actually fully funded also. Yes, so just like Erasmus programs, there are several universities that are under that have this SISGP, that is this Swedish Institute Scholarship. They have this funding, several schools, yes. So they have this funding. So now this one actually have it has like two phase of application. Now that's why I always I would choose Erasmus over several scholarship programs. This one you have to pay for it. This one is cool too. It's a very nice program, but then there's application fee. I think the application fee then when I paid with the conversion, their money is Swedish Corona knock, and if you do the conversion, I think the application fee then was about 43K. I think I paid about 43,000 naira. Yes, so that's their application fee then. So now,
I remember paying for
yes. So that's what it pay as an application fee. So like I said, there are two phases to this application. One, I told you there are several Swedish universities that have the funding from the Swedish Institute Scholarship. So you need to have to get into one of the universities. That is based on your discipline, how you got your BSc based on your results. Yes, you apply to get to one of the universities. That is, you have to get admission into one of these universities that get the Swedish scholarship funding. Yes, so once you get into one of these universities, then you shoot application for the Swedish Institute Scholarship, because one of the requirements is actually for you to have admission into one of the Swedish universities. All right, and there are a list of this school that actually get the funding. So you look at the list and you go to the school website and see if any of the school has like a program, a master program that has a high correlation to your background. I always keep emphasizing on you shouldn't just be shooting. Don't waste your time. Ensure any program you shoot for, you should have a very high correlation to that program. So when you go through the list of these schools, look at the programs they have, and for anyone you have high correlation to, then you apply for it. Then when you apply for it, then they release the result, like they give like if you're enlisted, if your name comes out as one of the scholars that got admitted, then you have like an admission number, or so you take it to the Swedish website because they have a website like there are university website and there's this particular Swedish website where you go to apply for the scholarship. So you get the application number. Yes, it's like your matric number that you get from the school you got admitted into. That's like one of the major requirements. You take it to the Swedish Institute Scholarship website, then you apply for the scholarship. Okay, so when you get the scholarship, then you can further your what your studies, then you travel, then they pay you. Like I said, everything is fully funded, your travel allowance and your stipends, they pay stipends too, so everything is covered, you understand. But this case, you apply differently. You apply into a Swedish university, then you still apply to the Swedish scholarship. So it's done separately. And like there's a limit. You don't get to apply to, I think, more than 4 universities. Four. Is it 4 or 3? Mr. David, no. So 4, 3, 4, yes, maximum. So you make your application in order of preference. So if you don't get into the first university, then they look at your second option. If you don't get into the second option, they look at your third option. So it's you almost always going to get into one of the universities. All right. The main problem is getting trying to getting the fund, that is the Swedish Institute Scholarship. That's the second phase. That's where the main headache is. But man, if you have bread and if you have money, yes, after the first phase, if you get the admission, because yes, somehow it's relatively easy. If you get the admission and you don't get the what's it called, the scholarship, the Swedish scholarship which you apply for the second phase, you could actually fund yourself, like further, like just go straight up and you do your registration, because they'll send you receipt registration. Because if you fail to get the funding, they'll still leave that admission open for you and ask you if you like to fund yourself, if you have the capacity to fund yourself or not. So basically that's it. Like Mr. Davis said, I'm going to give you guys like more details. So this is like a general overview of the whole thing. So details, website, what to do, what not to do, and all of that. You guys will get that subsequently. So yes, thanks.
All right. Thank you so much, Kim, Samuel, for the breakdown overview about the Erasmus scholarship and then the Swedish Institute scholarship as well. Thank you so much. So, Mr. Aibo Emmanuel, I hope your question has been answered. Okay, he just posted that in a nutshell, the Erasmus and Swedish scholarship program are somehow the same process, like Mr. Sam. Yeah, they're actually the same, but just that in the Erasmus process, you have to make application to different schools, and it is straightforward, and there is no application fee. But in the case of they have a general application. You can pick 3 different pay application fee at once and then submit your application. And for you to get the admission, one of the universities, the 3 universities you apply to, one have to pick you before you are considered for the scholarship. So the Swedish Institute have 2 different phases. First, getting an admission into the university, and then secondly, getting the scholarship before you can proceed. But in the case of Erasmus, you just apply to the school, and once you're taken, boom, you are taken for both the admission and the scholarship. So that's the basic difference. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Samuel. Mr. Emmanuel, Aibo, okay, it's okay. Major difference. And then we just have Dr. Leah joining us all the way from Europe. Belarus,
Yeah.
Dr. Nerd. We are highly excited to have you joining us tonight. Uh, Please kindly introduce yourself so that we can we can get to know you better, bro. Thanks.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening, bro.
Good evening.
Good evening, bro.
My name is Doctor. Sorry for being late. I just wanted to join so that I would see what's going on with you guys and then understand like the process too, and also maybe contribute in any way that I can, so that at least we'll just help each other in the group. I'm in Belarus and medical doctor, but I do other things too. So yeah, cool stuff. Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you very much. Nice meeting you too.
Okay. Yeah, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, Doctor. And actually, all the presenters in the house, they have spoken, and we're about wrapping up before you joined us. So the floor is yours now. You can
Yeah, I just wanted
share
to come
some
like
experiences with us about life after school. Yeah,
about what?
yeah, because you have passed through the whole school processes and graduated, and now you are fully in the system. So I would like you to share some of the opportunities available to graduate after school and then all of that. Thank you, Doctor.
Basically, every country has their own rule and law, and as long as you do what the schools require, what I'm sure of is many times the school can help you navigate your way in any country, actually, any country, as long as your school has your back. And the only way that's going to happen is if you follow all the rules that they tell you to follow. As long as you do that, it's easy for you to walk up to your authorities and then they like, okay, I'm having this problem. They are going to now come, come through for you, help you, aid you. Sometimes even with maybe the scholarship, you might not get the full one, and then you need money or something happens. If your school sees that, okay, this student is a very dedicated student and all they need is just time or more money, they can help you find ways to gather scholarships and give you opportunities that you probably wouldn't have known from fellow students or even agents. So a lot of times what I tell people from the best of my knowledge is just try and see how play school politics, basically. That's what it is. Play school politics, understand the terrain, and then follow through with it. And, it's going to work out for you eventually. For us that have been here, I would say that that's how we've been able to survive. That's how we've also built business relationships, even this platform, and how it started, same thing, just basically cultivating that mature mindset of, okay, this is what I want out of this, because there's not everybody that wants to stay like leave, but at least the schooling part, get it down, get the experience, get to mingle, expand your portfolio, and then use it to do whatever you want to do. Go back to Nigeria, go back to anywhere, and then succeed in your own way, but building your part and making it work for you, not like doing what everybody else is doing. Just finding your own path and making it work for you. I'm happy to be a part of this group. Thank you.
All right.
And
Thank you so much, Dr. Thank you for the enlightenment. We really appreciate the words of encouragement and also navigate our process even after our education. We really, like we said, today is just like a general overview and looking at the time, I think we have spent almost 2 hours live on this streaming session, and that was a whole lot of time. But like I
yeah,
said, today
Yeah.
is just like a general overview on the whole traveling abroad process through education grounds and then through working ground. We have not really covered details of the whole thing step by step, but today is just like a general overview. But in our subsequent sessions, we are going to be picking each category and then what is required in each step, and then talking on them squarely for breaking them properly for a better understanding. So, like I said, thank you all for your time tonight. Thank you for all your contributions. Thank you for your time. We got all your questions, we got all your interactions in the comment section. I will really appreciate your time. Big thank you to all the way from. Thank you so much for your time, brother. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate.
I also want to say a big thank you to chemist Samuel Amali, all the way from
Always
Portugal, the Erasmus
that's
scholar. Thank you so much for your
Always
time.
a pleasure.
Thank you so much for your time, brother. Yeah. We really appreciate your time. And I want to also say a special thanks to Dr. Lloyd, all the way from Europe. Thank you, Doc, for your time, and thank you for the words of encouragement and the briefing. We appreciate. And a special thanks to Dr. David Agaba, all the way from Europe, Belarus. Thank you for your time. And I also extend my appreciation to pharmacist John Ehoche, all the way from the United States of America. John, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for the insights and for sharing with us on the different processes involved. So I really appreciate you all for your time. Thank you for all the contributions you've made to the success of this session. And then subsequently, I'm going to be talking more on details or information. And we are going to be sharing this video on our channel. So for those who couldn't join today, they can actually go back and have a rewatch of the video and then learn from it. Thank you all for your time, and for subsequent meetings, kindly ensure you subscribe to the channel so that when we have our new meeting, you got a new notification, fresh notification on our subsequent meetings, so that you don't miss out from any of the processes and the steps involved. So I want to say thank you. I want to say spasiba. I want to say obrigado.
Obrigado.
I want to say thank you to pharmacist.
Teşekkürler. You say teşekkürler in Turkish. Say teşekkürler in Turkish.
Yeah.
Muito obrigado.
You say what?
You said
Muito
teşekkürler.
obrigado.
Yeah, Turkish is what, Bernard?
You said teşekkürler ederim.
Teşekkürler, okay.
Teşekkürler ederim.
Teşekkürler ederim. All right, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for your time. And from our comment session, I can see Mr. Peter Obado, you say thanks to our speakers. Peter, we really appreciate your time. Boy Emmanuel is saying, I have been richly educated. We are glad that you've been really richly educated. Boy Emmanuel, thank you all for your comment. Thank you all for your time. And I would like to give this time to our director, Dr. Agaba David, to give us like a final David, is it final blessing now or before we close the session? Because we spent almost 2 hours on this session. Yeah, thank you. Welcome, bro.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm really sorry. Yeah, I just got a call from the Ochidoma Palace. As you know, today is the commissioning of the new Ochidoma Palace, and we have a people on ground here. So I got the call, and of course, you know, as you guys know, if an elder is calling, you have to accept the clarion call. You know, as of course, you can see some of my Doma brothers here, and you know what that means.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, because there were talks ongoing we're talking about how, I think the Chidoma has a program now whereby I think he normally teaches Chidoma language twice a week, especially for those in the US, because we know how important it is for us to know our roots, Exactly. Anyway, yeah, I'm really sorry, for stepping out, but I think I've learned a lot today, they say we learn every day, understand? Like I was just listening to, like what John said about the whole US, then after that, Samuel spoke about, Erasmus, and I know I've been hearing about Erasmus even the first time I traveled, 2013, but of course, most times, you hear about something, typical Nigerian, you understand, they'll be like, you had this thing. Do you know anybody that have done it? You understand?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that thing,
Christian.
exactly, you understand? That thing is the thing that normally kills us. You understand? Do you know anybody that have done it? As far as I'm concerned, all they put that nobody got it to. Scholarship is hard, scholarship is this, scholarship is that, but every day you see people getting scholarship. You understand? So I think that when you struggle, you put your mind to it, you understand. You might be lucky, Like me personally now, like you see, like currently I'm doing my MSc in Berlin, Germany. Hopefully, of course, I'm gonna be joining there. But even when I applied, I got 50% scholarship, and even though it's not a fully funded program, do you know that when I started looking for this program, and I discovered that there are a lot of universities that the tuition fee is just, let's say, 200 euro. 200 euro. You understand? And there are a lot of universities where you go to and you discover that, okay, it's fully funded. But the thing is that you have this fear that, can I do it? What are the criteria? What are this? But I discovered that one of the trick about scholarship, you just have to be calm and just keep on reading and paying attention to detail, But then, like when I had from the how will I say, testimony from people who tried, they did it first time, they tried the second, third time, they didn't give up, and before they got, like last summer he said, they got in Sweden, they got in Portugal, and they still went for the Portugal, But of course, we know people that have been trying for over 10, 15 years, they have not been lucky, but it doesn't mean that we should give up,
Yep.
And also, our brother was talking about Cyprus, the part where he said Cyprus was expensive. I could recall that, was it last week? I was talking to a friend of mine, and she was telling me, Cyprus is expensive, Cyprus is this, Cyprus is that, but, hearing this from somebody who is staying there, understand, and I think it's going to help those who are coming behind us, to guide them, if not us, our friends, clients, or even I don't know, family members who wants to go to these countries. We can be like, okay, this person went through this program, or this person went through this, and we checked it out. Try this scholarship, try this program, it might help you, And also, so I just want to thank you, but shortly before we go, since I know the meeting are actually taking on, this 11 p.m. now. I don't know, David, did you shed any light about the company process and like the visa process in Belarus? You spoke about that already, right?
Yeah, we've covered more of that, a little light on it before we go, okay?
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Anyway, so far so good, Sha. What we got to know lately was that, most times when people come to study abroad, after their program, they will tell you, no, after my studies, I'm going back home because the school don't want to extend my visa. There's no job. Even this guy that has been staying here for long, he doesn't have a job. This person is blah, blah, blah. But first thing first, if you are living in a country that is non-English speaking country, or that most of the population, let's say 95% of the population speak their local language, definitely you have to try to learn the language. Language is the major key. You understand? Because you find out that if you go to most of these countries, it's only the young people in the countries that speak the native language. So far so good. I've had the opportunity to visit I think about 13 countries. So, and during on my tour, I noticed that English, it's only maybe if you go to America or if you go to UK, that even see people speaking full English. Even in America, a lot of people still speak Spanish. Because when you go to them, I say, hola, 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 senor. Like a lot of people still speak Spanish, you understand? So like when sometimes people call, they'll be like, English is not your language, you understand? So if you go to any place and you see people speaking English, of course, it really helps. But then, number two, of course, currently in Belarus, for example, if I'm doing my MSc now, I finish, let's say, the first phase, second phase. If I want, I can still continue to prolong my student visa. But then, as it is said, if you're on a student visa, getting a job might be really, really difficult because they're going to tell you, oh, you're on a student visa. For you to have a job, you have to get like a work permit or something like that. So then, how can you convert your student visa to work permit? You can open a company. Once you open a company, register the company, they make you the director of the company. You can even place yourself on salary. For example, let's say $200 every month. All they want to see is regular inflow of money. And through incorporation of that your company now, you can use that that to stay in the country permanently as far as you are paying your tax. If you like, you get a job, or if you like, you don't get a job, or nobody's going to disturb you, because you're a taxpayer, you have a registered company, you're contributing to the growth of the economy. Of course, most of us already know about the marriage. Usually, when you get married to the end of this country, you understand, legally. I don't know. Why is everyone laughing? Of course, but of course, that getting married is not easy, and you shouldn't get married to someone because of papers. You understand? If you're getting married to somebody, it should be because of love. Because this whole marriage thing, most people normally go out to the I want to marry because of papers. And of course, countries like Germany, even if you get married because of paper, you still have to live with the woman for at least 5 to 8 years before you can even get a passport. You understand? So sometimes I keep telling people that it's better for me to sleep with my two eyes closed at night than to be with somebody that I know that I don't love, because I know how it feels. You understand? So
Exactly.
usually, I normally tell people that let's explore the legal means, that will not bring any trouble to you, that you can get, you can open a company. Of course, you can, how do I say, you can buy a property. You understand? Most of these countries, like they have properties in the village. Once you buy a property, you're a property owner, it gives you legal rights to live in that country. That's like automatic permanent residence permit, you understand, even if the property is not expensive. Of course, recently that was Belarus having some issues about that, but owning a property, if you go to some of the remote villages, you can get some of these cabins for like 3,000, 4,000, 7,000. And what if it's in a livable condition? You can get your stay using that. So aside that, of course, I don't know, Belarus is not a very popular country, and of course, because of the issue of crisis between war between Russia and Ukraine, a lot of people don't want to look at this region. But of course, we have a lot of affordable programs here, as in tuition fee ranges from like, let's say, $2,600 to like $5,000. Basically, you can study medicine here for just $5,400 if it's the English program for 1 year. That's if you're doing general medicine. Then from stomatology it goes down like 4, 5, like that, depending on the city and depending on the university. But of course, if you're studying in the capital, it's more expensive. Then of course you can see IT courses like architecture, civil engineering, robotics, and stuff like that. You can get those for like $2,600 to $3,000 for a year, and it's not bad. You spoke about how much do you need in Cyprus to live. In Belarus, I think that if you can manage very well, you can even feed for like $50 a month if you know how to manage very well. Because usually when you go to shops, you get a lot of stuff on discounts and whatnot. So everything depends on how you plan yourself. And then if you are somebody, if you are somebody that you're not afraid of cold, most of the place you need to go, you need to come out from point A to point B. You can actually walk or use the bus system, which is just, I think, less than, I don't know, $1, for transportation. So anyway, I'm not going to bore you guys. As I said, we're going to try to see how we can probably meet, from time to time, talk to each other, because honestly, like, I've had a lot of eye-opening, how do I say, topic before, that I don't know, because, we learn every day, and I'm really sorry I have to step out, and let me not bore you guys, because I know we're hungry, we're tired, a lot of us are busy, some of us are students, some of us have to work, some of us have to go to our wives, some of us have to go to our girlfriend. I want to thank you all, please, for coming onto this platform tonight, and thank you once again.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But please tell David to give me the wife he promised me.
Have you Felipe Doen? I know the clamor. Okay, guys. Yeah.
All right, can't get you. Please, brothers. All right, guys.
All right, guys.
Guys, thank you so much for your time, now, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao.
Bye. David, I'll talk to you now.